So, what's up you guys, Aditi? Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about stereotypes, like how do stereotypes form, how do we use them, do they ever change? So let's begin. So what exactly happens is that stereotypes are formed because of the schemas that we have. So schemas are cognitive frameworks for organizing, interpreting, and recalling information. So when we categorize people into a group, it is easier for us to operate, it's easier for us to remember things about the group. It takes less cognitive effort to recognize any member of that group. It is very efficient for us. It takes less cognitive effort for us in many situations, and as a reason why we have schemas, and then these schemas become stereotypes. So one of the main reasons that we have stereotypes is to put less cognitive effort on our brain. So what stereotype does is that it brings information quickly to our consciousness. So there are these typical traits that a particular group may have of the members that we have met, like a few members or some members that we have met, and they come quickly to our consciousness. So every time, so when we meet somebody who has the same kind of traits like this group, that the stereotype that we have for a group, it comes automatically to us, and that's the reason why it takes less cognitive effort for us to place this member in a group or to identify this member of a group. So for example, if we talk about Asians, like not like Southeast Asians, but Asians who have monolids or hooded eyelids. Northeast Indians, for example, they too have those eyelids, and as a reason why they could be called Chinese. If you know about the BTS group, the most famous BTS group, so my family members who don't know that they are Koreans, they just quickly assume that, oh, are they Chinese? Because one, when it comes to Asian population, China is the biggest of the lot, and also like has the most population, so the other ones are not really thought of very quickly. That's a stereotype. That's the schema that people actually have, that, oh, are they Chinese? No, they could be Japanese, they could be South Koreans or North Koreans, they could be from Singapore, they could be from Malaysia, they could be Philippines. But no, everybody thinks that, oh, the first thing that they think is China because of the schemas that people have, which have become a stereotype. So there could be another one, or maybe African Americans, that they are great at dancing and singing, because that has again become a stereotype, because most of the African Americans are good at it, but then there could be some people who are not good at it as well. Whatever traits of a group that we come across frequently, that kind of becomes our schema, and that does become a stereotype later. Stereotypes act as theories that guide what we attend to and exert strong effects on how we process social information. So information that is relevant to existing stereotype, that is processed more quickly and it is remembered better than the information that is not related. If you can hear a sound, it's the AC ki awaaz. I really cannot sit without the AC anymore, okay? So for example, let's say Asians and even Southeast Asians were considered to be good at math. They are considered to be good at studies, but then not everyone is good at studies, right? So when the Western countries or a foreigner like from America or from Europe, somebody who meets an Asian or from India, they tend to consider it, oh, you must be good at math, but then we all are not. So, but they won't remember something like this, that, oh yeah, not all Indians are good at math. They will just not remember this information because they have this stereotype that Indians and Asians are good at math, they're good at studies. So they will not remember because they have just met one member of that group that does not match the stereotype that they have. So stereotypes lead us to pay attention to specific type of information usually information that is consistent with our own stereotypes. So something like this, that okay, so if I met an American and then we have a conversation going on and I'm like, oh no, I'm not good at math, it's just not consistent with the stereotype of, you know, of Indians being good at math. So even though he's not going to remember this piece of information because it is not consistent with the stereotype that this person may have. Another thing is that, for example, how that American met me and I'm an Indian but who's not good at math. So firstly, he's not going to remember this piece of information about me because it does not match or is not consistent with his stereotype that Indians are good at math. Secondly, what's going to happen is that I am just one Indian that he has met who is not good at math. So that is not going to totally change the stereotype that he has about Indians being good at math. He is just going to put me into a different category, like a special category or a subtype. So subtype equals to people who do not conform to the schema or stereotype that people may have. So these special categories or subtypes are made because people want to protect the stereotypes that they have. Like I said, stereotypes help people not put a lot of cognitive effort on their brain. So it really helps them, it really serves them, it's really efficient for our brain, and that's the reason why they want to protect the stereotypes. Most of this is, I think, it's very unconscious processing, so nobody's doing it consciously, but that's how it is. The question that arises after this is that if you meet someone that does not match with your stereotype or the schema that you have, and you put them into a special category, then do stereotypes ever change? So many theorists have suggested that stereotyping will be stable as long as the nature of relationship that exists between these groups is stable. This is because the stereotypes that are formed, they reflect on the behavior that we are actually observing or that we are seeing. So when the behavior changes, that is when not just the behavior changing, but the other groups also viewing this behavior, when they see the change in the behavior, that's when stereotypes will change. So when this American who has met me, when he meets more Indians that are not good at math, so his repeated exposure to different types of Indians, that's when the stereotype that he has that Indians are good at math is possible to change. It will probably change. Das Gupta and Asghari in 2004, they assessed female students or female students who have this gender stereotype in their first year and then in the second year. So these female students, they were attending women's college in the first and the second year, and the professors, the female professors in this college, they used to behave in non-traditional ways, and they were repeatedly exposed to this kind of behavior from the professors in the first year and also in the second year. Then some female students in this study, they were not in this women's college, they were in some other co-education college where there was considerably less female faculty, or generally when there is less female faculty, they tend to behave in a very traditional way, or the behavior that is quite appropriate is considered appropriate by the society. In that way, so there was less female faculty in this co-education college, so they were exposed to less female professors, and whoever they were exposed to, they were not behaving in a very non-traditional way. So as I explained by my Indian American wala example, obviously the female students that went to a women's college and they were continuously exposed to female professors who were behaving in a non-traditional way, they tend to have less gender stereotypes, or almost no, but I'm going to say less gender stereotypes as compared to those female students who attended co-education college. And that is it for today's video. Maybe this video is really short, but I think I had these questions in mind when I used to go about in the world and come across so many stereotypes that people have about women and about different other kind of groups that are minority groups or maybe marginalized groups. And I used to always have these questions like, how are these stereotypes formed, and is this even possible to change them? Because I think everything we can change, but How? So I'm so glad that because of psychology I did find my answer, and I thought I should make a video on it. I hope you learned something from this video, and like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday with another psychology video. Sorry for the AC ki awaaz, it's impossible to sit without it. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for understanding. Bye.